Hey guys, Rowdy here. For this week's video, I decided to talk about the craziest reactions I've ever gotten in life. I put together a top 10 list, so let's get into it. Number 10, being stuck in furniture. There's no real specific event I can think of for this, but it's happened multiple times where people have walked into a room. I was sitting on a couch. It's usually on a couch, not a chair like this, and the person assumes that I'm somehow dug into the couch until I get up and start walking around like, I thought you were in the couch. Like, why would I be in the couch? But number 9, car accident misinterpretation. This was a few years back when I was in Virginia. I wrecked my car. It was a minor wreck. I was only going about 30. I crashed into a ditch. It was enough to deploy my airbag, so we're all out of the car, and I'm laying on the side of the road. And this guy runs up, and he's just like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And my friend James, no, he's good. It wasn't that bad. And then in hindsight, he was like, I should have let the guy believe that for a minute. That would have been hilarious. Like, oh God, this guy lost his legs. He's running around his arms now. But anyway, number 8, dance club reaction. I don't normally go to dance clubs, let alone dance. I was attending a birthday party. After a few adult beverages, I decided to dance. And I hop on the dance floor and I start boogieing. But within 10 seconds of hopping on the dance floor, everybody just kind of dispersed. I'm over there just boogieing on my hands, just not even thinking about it. And everybody's just like, how do we respond to this? Like, should we dance with him? Number 7. I've actually already mentioned this reaction in a previous video, Misconceptions. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I was stuck in an elevator with this guy for a few minutes who was just trying to convince me that my life was terrible. Never in my life have I ever ran into somebody that tried so hard to convince me that my life was terrible. It was the craziest thing. And that brings me to my number 6. On multiple occasions, people have come up to me and said something along the lines of, "I'm so impressed that you decided not to commit suicide," or "I'm proud of you for not killing yourself." Just like, what? Okay, thanks, I guess. That's a pretty crazy reaction. Number 5, I was at a wheelchair tennis tournament in Baton Rouge a few years back. I only used my wheelchair to play tennis, so between sets, I was just walking around on my hands, because that's what I normally do. This other guy, who coincidentally also didn't have legs, his condition was very different than mine, but he calls me out and he says, "What are you doing walking around on your hands, just trying to sweep the floor with your clothes or whatever?" It was the one time in my life that I felt self-conscious for not being in a wheelchair. Number 4, rounding corners. So I'm on a date a few years back, and I'm at this really fancy restaurant. I'm getting up and I'm walking to the bathroom. I round a corner at the same time as this waiter who is carrying like 2 fully loaded trays, like 8 meals. I startle him, but he literally jumps like a foot in the air, like completely leaves the ground. He jumps back, and then somehow he lands and catches everything. I almost complimented him on such an acrobatic feat, but we both just went our separate ways afterwards. Rounding corners reactions have become more common in my life, whether it be out in public or even in my own home. Turns out my girlfriend startles very easily. Number 3, elevator reactions. In any building I've ever worked in, there was always an elevator. So elevator reactions are literally the most common reactions I get. Personally, they are my favorite reactions. I get the most kick out of them. They typically go something like this. "Oh God, hey, how you doing today?" People go from super startled to super polite in like half a second, and I just love it. Number 2. This is another one that I've told before. This happened on Halloween several years back. It's pretty common for people to assume this is some kind of get-up, some kind of costume. But this is the only time where I ended up having a really long conversation with a gentleman who was just super convinced this was a magic trick. He even went as far as to just kept complimenting me like, "That is so cool, like, I don't know how you're doing that. Like you're hiding your legs somewhere, I just don't see them. That is a great trick." No, this is not a trick. I don't have legs. I got up to walk around. I'm just trying to show this guy this is not a trick. At the end of it all, he was still convinced this was some sort of trick. Number 1, terrified kid. Every year we would go over to my uncle's house to celebrate Halloween, And one of my things is I would dress up and hide in the bushes next to where the candy was sitting. So, you know, when the kids came up to get their candy, I would jump out at them. And there was just one year, this one kid in particular, like, I honestly probably should feel a little bad for this because I might have traumatized him. But this kid was so frightened, he took off down the driveway and then down the street. He literally kept going for like at least a quarter of a mile. Like we could see him, it was a pretty straight shot, and he never looked back. He just, I don't know if he ran home, I don't know where he went, but he just kept going. It was the most I've ever scared anyone. It was great. If any of you guys have experienced a crazy reaction in life, I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. And that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'll catch you guys next time.